on now. Let's go add to the resume. Let's go add to the resume. Let's go. Opportunity's knocking, fellas. One chance to go 2-0 tonight. One chance.
Rick Neuheisel's so good at those pregame speeches. Week 2 of the Alliance has arrived. Welcome to Memphis, everybody. It's the Arizona Hotshots taking on Mike Singletary's Memphis Express here at the Liberty Bowl. Welcome to our broadcast booth. It's just Helly and a couple of head coaches.
Absolutely.
Brian Billick and Mike Smith of the Atlanta Falcons. Of course, Coach Billick won a Super Bowl with the Ravens. On your staff with the Ravens was Hotshots head coach Rick Neuheisel, who knows a thing or two about offense.
Yeah, and for their offense, it's all about quarterback John Walford. He was brilliant in his first game, very efficient inside and outside the pocket. More important, he was explosive. He had 7 plays of 20 yards or more. They're going to need that tonight. But what also they're going to need, Coach Neuheisel knows they got to run the ball better. And Jarrell Presley is their lead back. Now, we're going to see a lot of backs. He's physical, and Coach Neuheisel says he's the smartest running back he's ever had, which means he's patient and fits their counter draw scheme perfectly.
Yeah, Neuheisel said he would add him to his staff if he stopped playing. He's that smart, thinks he would be a very good coach. Christian Hackenberg, the starting quarterback for the Memphis Express. Smitty, football fans know this kid well. A second-round draft pick just 3 years ago of the New York Jets, trying to get back into the NFL. Had a rough go of it in his first outing.
Yeah, he sure did. He really struggled. He was only 11 for 23 and 1 interception with 87 yards. They've got to do a better job protecting him, but he's got to do a better job reading the coverages and getting the ball out. He's a guy that can really throw the football. He's strong-armed. You see here, he's a good throw. The ball just gets tipped. And he's a guy that has to play better. And then on the defensive side of the ball, you got DeMarcus Gates. He is a sideline-to-sideline linebacker. Coach Mike Singletary says he believes he could play in the NFL right now. He's a guy that I'm looking forward to seeing play in the game tonight.
Very excited to get things going here on week 2. We are back here in the booth, and we were watching pregame warm-ups, and you guys both thought something was really interesting regarding Christian Hackenberg because he was out there in the cold. It is not warm here in Memphis. About 2 to 3 hours before game time, Smitty, he was warming up a lot longer than most quarterbacks do.
Oh, absolutely. I was surprised when we first walked in here seeing him taking that many throws prior to the game.
Yeah, and you got the sense when we visited him yesterday, he understands what's on the line here. He very much wants to do well. He was made a point of the fact that we're going to do what we do well. And he had a lot to say about that with Coach David Lee as well. So it's just one of those things where, you know what, they got to wrap the right things around it.
They want to get him comfortable as quickly as possible. Jenny Dell going to be with us on the sidelines the whole game right now. She's with Memphis head coach Mike Singletary.
Coach, Hackenberg couldn't get much going in the season opener. What do you need to see from him tonight?
Well, we need to see it early. Whatever it is, just execute early on. Get your team going, get your motivation going, and get the right mindset, and we should be fine.
You're facing this Arizona offense. They're ranked #1 in week 1. What do you need to do to slow them down?
Well, we just need to do our job. I just think we have a good plan, and we just need to execute on the defensive side of the ball, try to keep the quarterback in the pocket, and I think we'll be okay.
Good luck, Coach. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, Jenny, thank you very much. There's a look at John Walford, the Offensive Player of the Week in the AAF. This guy was unbelievable in his debut. 4 touchdown passes against Salt Lake. Everything really clicking offensively for the Hotshots. They put up 38 points, which was the second highest total in the Alliance in the opening week.
Yeah, it's an interesting contrast with these two teams, and I think they match their head coaches very well, Smitty, don't they? I mean, Rick Neuheisel has spread it out. He's going to be wide open. He's communicative. He's got a lot of energy. That's the kind of team he has on the field. Mike Singletary, he wants it to be big, physical, down the hill.
There's a look at Rick Neuheisel. He would love nothing more than to take some deep shots this game. Very aggressive on the offensive side of the ball. As you know, there are no kickoffs in this league. Instead, each team will start on the 25-yard line. And we have the mayor of Memphis, Jim Strickland, who will be putting the ball down on the 25. Memphis going to get things going here as we are almost underway here at the Liberty Bowl. Look at Mike Singletary. Listen, they were shut out last week. Nothing really going right for them on either side of the ball in the end. But that defense looked good in that first half. Only allowed 9 points, several field goals from Birmingham.
Yeah, very impressed with the way they played in the first half. They just got worn down and had some turnovers there in the fourth quarter that they got put into some short field situations.
We're going to get our first look at this Arizona hotshot offense. John Wolford, the aforementioned quarterback, going to be working out of the shotgun. Jarrell Presley, who had himself a pretty nice game as well, beside him in the backfield. First play going to be a pass. Wolford decides to tucks it and run. Picks up about 2 or 3 yards there. Corey Vereen on the tackle.
Trips right, Braves.
And the numbers here for Wolford: 4 touchdown passes, 275 yards last week. Coach, you love this kid.
Yeah, I mean, he fits the scheme of Rick Neuheisel beautifully, both inside and outside the pocket.
Second out, the handoff to Presley, trying to turn the corner on the right side. Looks like somebody might have got a piece of the helmet. Channing Stribling on the tackle. And we're going to be looking at third down here on the first drive of the game for this Arizona offense. The offensive line a little bit banged up. They're playing with without their left tackle and their right tackle in this one. Wide receiver Rashad Ross, somebody you want to keep an eye on. Third down and 3 now for John Wolford and this Arizona offense here at the Liberty Bowl. Low snap for Wolford. Wolford's taken down quickly. That Memphis defense making a statement early.
That was a great rush there on third down to force the punt. They did a really good job bringing the inside backer.
Yeah, we've talked about the pressure rules that are unique to this league, but still, you can be fairly creative. Dennis Thurman, the defensive coordinator for the Express, obviously, again, on my staff, knows Mike Singletary and what he wants defensively. Did a nice job on a third down pressure.
Yeah, that was Drew Jackson, one of the leaders of that defense. Did a really good job blitzing through the B-gap.
Drew Jackson, the middle linebacker. Julius Wormsley, the defensive tackle there as well. Jeff Locke to punt. And we have a nifty little return. That ball's going to be just past the 40-yard line. I do believe we have a flag on the play.
One of the things I like about this, Dan, I like the speed with which the officials get to this. They get together quickly, they decide what it is, they make the call, and they move on.
Reese Horn on the punt return for Memphis.
During the return, personal foul, face mask, kicking team number 51. 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run.
Face mask on Edmund Robinson. And there is our first look at Christian Hackenberg, the second-round pick of the Jets in 2016. That was the same draft as Jared Goff and Carson Wentz. A lot of good quarterbacks in that draft.
Yeah, they went early, obviously, and Dak Prescott went 135 with Christian Hackenberg going at 51.
Dak Prescott, of course, in line for a nice new contract. Hackenberg feeling the pressure. Ball loose early, picked up by the Hotshots as there's a scramble, and it looks like it is indeed recovered. Not a good start for Christian Hackenberg in this Memphis offense.
Well, that pressure came off the left side offensively, and obviously doesn't, they talked about being more play action. I don't know that from the gun is in Christian Hackenberg's wheelhouse. I think they want to get in the eye, they want to be more physical, make those deep eye fakes, and let him take them shot that way.
Sione Ohema was the man who got in there and forced the fumble. They love this linebacker, one of just 3 players with no NFL experience, but you can't tell by the way he has played so far. So looking at 2nd and 22 now is Hackenberg. Hackenberg, ball on the ground again. Things could not be off to a worse start. Just trying to get comfortable, get him on the same page as the offensive coordinator. Brian, that was the goal going in.
Yeah, it was, and he's been betrayed twice, once by the left tackle on protection, and as the ball rolls out.
He rolled it. He rolled the snap back to me. It was all the way low? Yeah, it was on the ground.
You're going to hear a lot of Nat sound here, and Hackenberg letting his center know, Demetrius Rainey out of Tennessee State, exactly what happened. 3rd and forever right now. And they're just going to be content to gain a couple of yards up the middle and punt this one away and start fresh on a second.
And again, you can't look at what happened in this series in any way, shape, or form, blame it on Christian Hackenberg, but by the same token, that's who's going to be accountable for it.
So not a good start for this Memphis offense that's still looking for their first points of the season. Rashad Ross back to return the Brad Wing punt. Brad Wing bobbles the snap as well. Wing, of course, played for the Giants 2015, 2016. Ross stays away from this ball, and that rolls down inside the 5-yard line before it is down by Terrell Bonds. We're going to be right back after this message from the Navy Federal Credit Union.
Come on, Carol! Hawaii, nice!
Yeah, I'm excited. Finally earned enough rewards points.
So jealous.
Yeah, I can't wait to get that shave ice.
What's shave ice?
It's like a Hawaiian snow cone.
Why not just say snow cone?
I don't know, they call it shave ice.
You fly to Hawaii for this.
I don't go there for the ice.
You saved up your reward points for ice. That's a lot of ice.
Okay.
Go Rewards Credit Card from Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
There's a look at Mike Singletary back in the head coaching ranks. Of course, the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers for a couple of seasons, was a special assistant with the Minnesota Vikings. Got his first coaching job on whose staff, Coach Billick?
Well, I tell you what, it was an honor to have him. You know, when I lost Coach Smith to be the defensive coordinator in Jacksonville, you can't just bring anybody to coach Ray Lewis, right? So who better than a Hall of Famer, Mike Singletary? It was great to have him on the staff.
30 seconds.
Timeout called by the aforementioned Coach Singletary.
And you got a sense in our meeting yesterday, didn't you? That intensity. I mean, those eyes and all the thing, you know, we grew up and watching the eyes of Mike Singletary, and as a defensive coordinator or as a MVP and a Hall of Famer, he brings that same intensity coaching.
He's one of those guys, when you're in the same room with him, you just feel
there's an intensity.
Come on, baby, stay out of the white.
And we talked about DeMarcus Gates, that fine linebacker for Memphis. How great is that for him to be able to have a guy like Mike Singletary to learn from?
Yeah, it's invaluable to have a coach, Mike Singletary, coaching you. A guy that's been in the Hall of Fame. He's going to learn a lot. This DeMarcus Gates is a heck of a football player.
We'd like to see Gates make a play here. Ball on the 4-yard line for John Wolford. Up there is Terrell Presley. Not much going there. Good play by that defensive line. Julius Wormsley, one of the men in there on the tackle.
Yeah, this defensive lineup for Memphis, I think, matches up very well with what the Hotshots want to try to do. I think they could take their standard spacing front, take care of the running game, and let the back end take care of the passing game. Everybody do your job. I think they'll hold up well.
1-yard gain. Presley still in the backfield. Wolford back to throw.
Nope.
And there's not a whole lot going there. Rashad Ross, who had over 100 yards last week, makes the catch. He was one of the more impressive players on the field last week for this Arizona team. Ross, 5 catches, 103 yards, 2 touchdowns in the opener.
Smitty, I was impressed when we were on the field before the game, the size of this Memphis Express team. They're a legitimately big, physical team, and the Hotshots are a little undersized that way. I think they can play to that advantage.
They can. That's a big, strong front, and they're getting some pressure.
Wolford throwing on 3rd and 7, has a man at the 30-yard line, ball's on the ground. Looks like Memphis recovers, so the Hotshots had the first down, and then the ball was fumbled. So what a turn of events here for Memphis. After that awful start, they forced the turnover, and they're going to have the ball in plus territory. Another look at the replay. The grab is made. That's Josh Huff, the former Eagles receiver, puts it on the deck.
Yeah, it started out badly for them. You can't let Wolford get outside the pocket. That's where he's going to kill you. But then obviously with the big hit for the turnover, they were able to recover it.
And Drew Jackson in on that play. He has been all over the place for this Memphis defense early on. So they're looking at 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. Let's see what Hackenberg can do here with Zach Stacy beside him. It's going to be Stacy taking the handoff, dances for a gain of about 4.
Yeah, that's a good job getting some positive yards on 1st down. Now it's going to make it a little bit easier for the quarterback, Hackenberg, to get into some manageable down and distance after that first one.
Jenny Dell, what do you have?
Hey, guys, I'm over here on the Express sideline, and number 43, running back Terrence McGee, just got sick over here on the sideline, so something to keep an eye on. He said he's okay and he'll be fine to go back into the game, but obviously something to watch out for.
All right, Jenny, thank you very much. Terrence McGee, just one of 3 running backs on the active rosters. We're going to have a flag on this one.
Yeah, and Memphis, we talked about it.
Arizona calls their first timeout of the half, 30 seconds.
You know, this is a big, huge offensive line. They've got 2 of the biggest tight ends, many I've ever seen. And we saw last week, they tended to get into the eye, and I love seeing that. I love seeing old school football, get in the eye, get downhill, simple as a screwdriver. I'd like to see a little bit more of that out of Memphis.
How about the AAF app? #1 in both Google and Apple stores. And if you And now we have a flag after the timeout. Not exactly a smooth operation so far. That might have been Anthony Morris, the left
False
tackle.
start. Offense, number 77, 5-yard penalty.
Those pre-snap penalties are going to kill you. You can't have them. You've got a 1st down, efficient play, and then you come back and get a penalty. That's not the way you want to be starting this ball game.
No, and let's remember, too, this team's only been together for 6 weeks. Those are the kind of things that may come in time. It's been a tough job for these coaches here. 2nd and 11 for Hackenberg. Back to throw, and nothing going there.
Well, now they're in an interesting situation because obviously inside the 30, they're clearly in field goal range. So now this is a good test for Christian Hackenberg. How much do you trust your quarterback to take a shot to get you a 1st down, to hopefully get into the end zone for a touchdown in this series? But by the same token, you can't take the sack, you can't get pushed out of field goal range, and you certainly don't want to turn the ball over.
Hey, Roger. Monday. Set. Ready? Set.
Hackenberg on 3rd and 11. Going to keep it and run himself up-ended 5 yards shy of the 1st down.
Yeah, that was good coverage there by the Hotshots. There was no one open, and he did a good job with the quarterback taking it up, getting him keeping him in field goal range. Smart play by the quarterback, Hackenberg.
And what do you know, it's Stevie Johnson on the tackle.
Yep, he was all over the field last week, and I anticipate it's going to be the same thing. He's a hard guy to block.
74 games of NFL experience for Stevie Johnson as we look at Josh Jasper. Missed his only field goal attempt last week. 84% kicker during his college days at LSU. The Memphis native from 38 yards out. It is up and it is good. Those are the first points of the season for the Memphis Express as they take the early lead over the Hotshots. We will be right back after these messages from Wheels Up. So Jasper puts Memphis on the board for the first time this season. Yeah, we're only 2 games in, but when you start with a goose egg, getting 3 points on the board, Coach, you got to feel good about that.
Yeah, because you can't use it. How long is it going to take? Until I get those points the first time. It looks like they're having trouble, obviously, with Express getting off on the snap.
12 men in the formation. Defense, 5-yard penalty.
That's one way to stop the Hotshots. Put 12 guys on the field.
You got to try everything you can, and we're trying everything here in the Alliance Skycam. This lovely shot right here, brought to you this evening by Wheels Up. We have a couple of Skycams, and we're going to go to it as much as necessary. It's one of the many toys that we will have throughout the AAF season here. So 1st and 5, Wolford pass complete. That is to Richard Mullaney. And how about this? 5 targets, 5 catches last week from Mullaney. Smitty, great hands for this young man. This is a guy who they love getting the ball in his hands out of Oregon State. As we look at the starting lineup here for Arizona. Quick snap and handoff to Jarrell Presley, who picks up the first down on 2nd and 1.
Oh, okay. On this Arizona side, this is a great tight end crew, and Gerald Christensen is a really good guy. And then we talked about him earlier. He's the guy that had the big game, Rashad Ross.
All right, first down, fresh set of downs here for Wolford in the offense. And he's going to take a shot here. And that is picked off by Memphis. Channing Stribling with the return inside the 20-yard line before he's finally taken down by Ross. Singletary's troops, pretty big underdogs in this game, off to a great start, Coach.
And the defense by Memphis, they cracked the code. Make Wolford throw from the pocket. That's not his strength. He's not going to see the field as well. You change up your coverages on the back end. He forced the ball in, ends up with the pick.
Yeah, great anticipation by the corner. Ball's thrown right to him. He's going to make that play.
3 passes from Wolford and 2 turnovers for the Hotshots already. They didn't have a single turnover in the opener, 2 already in this game.
Now you're talking. Get into the eyes, go straight downhill, simple as a screwdriver, play some smash ball against this undersized hotshot defense.
Manzo Lewis, the fullback, in there. Reversing field is Stacy. Nice cut there as Stacy picks up 6. His team in the league with the Rams.
Yeah, it looked like this was going to be stopped in the backfield. Stacy did a great job of cutting back out and coming out of the back door.
Finally taken down by Will Sutton. And the Express looking at 2nd and 4 from the 11. Stacy again up the middle. Looks like he's going to be just shy of the first down by about 1.5 yards.
When was the last time we see a fullback in a game getting into the eye? And this, you talk about a fullback, this Manzo Lewis, 6 foot, 256. And he's supposed to be a pretty good athlete as well. But now you get in that package, all of a sudden now Arizona's going to have to start walking people down in the box, and that's when Christian Hackenberg can take advantage to the outside.
Loves Manzo Lewis, does the offensive coordinator. David Lee says he can do a little bit of everything. He can block, run, and catch. Would make an ideal NFL fullback, as you can hear Hackenberg calling for the timeout there. Did not like what he was looking at. The offensive coordinator, David Lee, up in the booth. He relays the play down to the 3rd-string quarterback, Zach Mettenberger, who then gets it into Hackenberg. That time maybe a flaw in the communication system. Check that. The offensive coordinator, David Lee, on the sideline there.
Same thing.
One of the exciting new features in the Alliance in the first season is the fresh new look of the team uniforms, developed and provided between the Alliance and Starter New Era. I like the gear.
Yeah, you're going old school now.
Heck yeah, you are.
I'm an old man, and I'm going back to the starter now. I got more starter gear in my closet I can take out. Monday. I can be cool.
That was it. Back in my high school days, everybody had to have the starter gear. Manzo Lewis and Stacy in the backfield once again. This is going to be Stacy, leads a tackle in the backfield, cuts inside. Zach Stacy in for the touchdown. First TD of the season from Memphis, and they're up big early.
This is all Zach Stacy here now. Fans are getting excited about it, and they should be. After starting out in the gun and trying to be sideways, they get into the eye, they get big, they get physical, they get downhill. And anytime you run the ball well, at some point the back's got to make somebody miss or run over them. He did on the 2 plays that set up the score.
The guy he made miss was Obum Gwacham, a very talented linebacker. Made him miss in the backfield. There for the touchdown is Mike Singletary giving congratulations to his troops. Not a whole lot of time to celebrate here in the Alliance, folks. No extra points, going for 2. Last week it was Arizona that was a perfect 4 for 4 on 2-point conversions. Let's see if the Express can make it 1 for 1. Hackenberg rolling out to his right. That pass is tipped. So they will be 0 for 1, but still have to be happy with that 9-0 lead early. All month long, the Alliance spearheading touchdown for Team Rubicon. For every touchdown scored in every game in February, the Alliance will donate $1,000 to Team Rubicon, a veteran-led nonprofit that helps communities recover after a natural disaster. You can find out more and join the effort at aaf.com/donate.
Smitty, we talked to Coach Lee yesterday, and as a play caller, obviously your play calling sheet is a little bit different in this league because of the number of times you're going to be in a conversion down inside the red zone 5. How much does it change your defensive game plan?
Well, it really changes you down in the red zone, and of course you're limited in what you can do. So it's going to be, as the season goes on, they're going to know what you're getting down there in the red zone, and I think you're going to see the efficiency continue to go up.
Here's Presley taken down right away in the backfield. We talk about Anthony Johnson being a factor on defense. The big kid out of LSU getting it done there.
Yeah, great play. They're really winning the line of scrimmage for the Express, and they need to continue to do that. They got the momentum going their way, and that's something they want to keep going.
Anthony Johnson, the #1 defensive tackle in the nation coming out of high school. Wolford throwing that pass behind the intended wide receiver, which was his big tight end, Connor Hamill. Let's take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by At Home, the home decor superstore. Coach, for Arizona,
they have to be more consistent in the run game. They did not do it as well as they needed to on the defensive side. They can't let Memphis run all around it.
Look at a 3rd and 10. Wolford gives to Presley. Presley with a nice cut. And he's going to pick out about 9, but going to be a 1.5 yards short of the first down.
And this is the running game of the Hotshots, just what we talked about. They're about draws, they're about counters, they're about traps, and they don't have the ability to just get downhill the way Memphis does. And in a situation on a short yardage, it's great that they're wide open. I think Memphis right now is playing just the exactly right defense. Keep Wolford in the pocket, handle the run with your front 7, and let the back end do their job.
Reese Horn back to receive the Jeff Locke punt. And Horn calls for that last-minute fair catch at the 25. 9-0 Memphis on top of Arizona with just over 4 minutes to go here in the first. We're going to be right back after this message from MGM Resorts. So Christian Hackenberg and this Express offense back out on the field. Still no completions for Hackenberg, but a 9-0 lead for his Memphis Express. I believe that they will take that. Been riding the legs of Zach Stacy, this time caught in the backfield. That's Tio Hema, the outside linebacker, edge rusher, second big play he's made this game.
Yeah, they have some weapons, obviously, on the offensive side. Alton Howard is a big receiver like this team. He's not big, but he plays big in terms of what he's able to do, the basketball and grass. We've already seen the effect of Zach Stacy, his ability to run into a heavy box, make someone miss, or run over them for the extra yards.
Yeah, Zach Stacy so far, 6 carries, 24 yards. Pig Howard, the former Tennessee Volunteer, somebody they're going to be relying to heavily in the passing game. Hackenberg flushed out of the pocket, out past the 20. He can run a little, and Hackenberg picks up the first down. Raheem Yates, the man in there making the tackle, but not before Hackenberg can find the sticks and pick up the first, moving the chains. Name of the game.
They did a nice job there. They looped, and Hackenberg was able to get outside.
And they've got these two big tight ends in the game right now. I like the look of their tight ends. They are big, they are physical, and it suits them, even though they can then spread them out and stick with the running game.
Brandon Barnes and Adrian Robinson in a tight end for Memphis. Again, it's a handoff, and again, it's positive yardage. Not a lot, but you'll take 3-4 yards every time, won't you, Smitty?
Absolutely, and Stacy is a really good back. You know, in his first year in St. Louis, he almost got 1,000 yards.
Had a 134-yard game against Seattle on Monday Night Football. Traded to the Jets after the Rams drafted Todd Gurley and then retired.
Picked up a young man named Todd Gurley.
He's a pretty good player.
Yeah, that's not too bad. I can't blame the Rams too much for that.
Monday.
Terrence McGee going to give him a breather here on 2nd and 7. Hackenberg complete, passes complete, and that is Big Howard. We talked about him, and you can see the speed there, that little burst of quickness, Smitty.
Yeah, he's definitely the prototypical slot receiver. As you can see here, he's going to run the drive route underneath the linebackers, and he's able to run away from them and get more yardage.
And these are the kind of extended handoffs, these little underneath throws, that is absolute gold for Christian Hackenberg. At some point, once they have that drag underneath of the play fake, we need to see a vertical down the field by Hackenberg.
First completion of the game for Hackenberg goes for 7.
Ready?
This time fakes the handoff. Another quick pass. Lucky that wasn't intercepted.
Yeah, you know, the RPO thing with him, he made it real clear. That's not me. You know, he had an elongated stroke in terms of his throw. David Lee's done a real nice job of making it more compact. It's hard to change the throwing action of a quarterback, but I think it has helped Hackenberg. But I don't think the RPO, I don't think that's his thing.
Yeah, and Shaquan Edwards really had a great break on the football. That was almost going the other way.
Here we go, Monday. Set. Ready? Set.
Handoff on 2nd and 10. Up the middle. That's McGee going for 2 or 3.
Yeah, Brian, I agree with you. They're more effective when they're in the two-back sets and just pounding them. They did another nice job on this first down play.
McGee had 5 carries for 18 yards against Birmingham, was on the active roster for the Seahawks in 2016 and the Falcons in 2017.
Here's another, let me show you I can get the job done down for Hackenberg on 3rd down. This is the quarterback's down when you're on a 3rd and 7.
Hackenberg with time that nearly complete, but Pig Howard unable to hold on.
You know, and this is the kind of thing, and it's not just Express, it's I think the league as a whole. When I watch it and watched it last week, it's about finishing. You know, finish the catch, finish the tackle, finish the drive. That's what these young teams, these young players need to do, is show in order to move to that next level is to be able to finish.
Brad Wing on to punt again from Memphis. The dangerous Rashad Ross back deep. Did return a kickoff for a touchdown in the NFL. Calls for the fair catch just inside the 10-yard line here. The next generation of NFL stars ready to make a name for themselves at this year's NFL Scouting Combine, and only NFL Network is there live. Complete coverage of the 2019 NFL Scouting Combine starts Friday, March 1st, right here on NFL Network. They call it the Underwear Olympics, but it gets a lot of eyeballs. You guys have been to many combines in your day, Smitty.
Yes, it is, and it's fun for everybody in the league because that's the one time the whole league's together. They get an opportunity to evaluate these draft class eligible players.
John Wolford looking for another shot at the league, and if he can get that running game going, might help him in this Arizona offense a little bit. Jarrell Presley goes for 3.
You know, we used to have say in Baltimore, and Mike was there when we started up, 8 is enough. or 7 is enough. It's basically, if you'll do your job, if you've got the pitch, take the pitch. If you've got the give, you got the give. If you're supposed to keep contained, keep contained. If you'll just do your job, that's going to open up for the back end for them to do theirs.
Wolford fakes the handoff, delivers the strike. Gerald Christian, their talented tight end, diving ahead, looking to pick up the first down, and the first quarter is in the books here at the first ever AAF game here at the Liberty Bowl, and the home team is doing some things. Up 9-0 early.
I wanted to play football since I was like 3 years old. My family has been like everything to me.
I'm out there playing for my son. I use him as my motivation.
There you go.
Combine is make or break for me.
I always love the game. I want to do this forever.
Welcome.
beef. Boy, this is a great party.
He's open. Russ. Huh?
Yes.
Our hardware and software creates an opportunity for fans to be able to play a digital game that we've created in real time for the first time, truly real time, unlike anything that exists.
We are building fantasy, but instead of a fantasy that is, based on the whole season or based on the weekend, it's fantasy that happens play by play. All of a sudden, you've gone from being the general manager of the team to being the coach of the team.
The AAF app, it's awesome. It's #1 in both Google and Apple stores. Download it now. Trust me, it's worth it. Let's check in with Jenny Dell.
Zach, first touchdown in Memphis Express history. How important was it to set the tone early in this game?
Yeah, it's always important to set the tone. We just got to keep it going, stop shooting ourselves in the foot. I think we'll be fine.
What was the plan, and do you feel like you're executing it at this point?
Yeah, that was our biggest thing all week, just focus on execution. So we've been doing a great job of that. Just got to keep it going.
Congratulations. Good luck the rest of the game.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, Zach Stacy getting things going here. We were down on the sideline before the game, and Coach Billick, you said this team is big. If I'm them, I just run downhill at the Hotshots the whole game.
Yeah, I understand you got to do multiple things, but they've had their most success getting in the eye, putting their 12 personnel, 22 personnel, get downhill against this undersized Arizona defense. That is what has worked for them.
And let's not forget, this is just the second game of the season, so we're seeing a lot of firsts, and this is the first time that Arizona has been down by this much, especially early in the game, already down 9-0. That's backup running back Justin Stockton for 2. So if you're Arizona at this point offensively, you're just looking to do what? Get a little rhythm?
Yeah, this is what we do. At some point, they're going to have to take a vertical here. Remember, that's what made the difference in the Stallion game. They got those stack routes, a couple of deep posts down the middle. At some point, they've got to take a shot here, or they run the risk of bleeding to death slowly.
They took a lot of shots. Wolford completed 6 passes of 20 yards or more. This one not in that category, incomplete again for Wolford, and he just hasn't looked like the same guy he has last week. Still trying to find that groove. 4 of 7 so far with that interception.
Yeah, Terrell Bonds did a great job breaking on that ball. It was a quick game, and he was on top of it.
Terrell Bonds out of Tennessee State. One of 19 players on this roster who played their college ball in Tennessee. 5 from Tennessee State. Flags flying here.
Number 77, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
77, that's Lene Maeva out of Arizona.
God bless you, man. The way you pronounce these names. Phil Savage was my personnel guy in Baltimore, and I accused him of specifically putting a team together that I have no chance of pronouncing any of the names.
Phil Savage, just a treasure trove of information. You talk to him for 20 minutes, you really do have a much better understanding of this roster. Wolford taken down inside the 5-yard line. How quick was that? Anthony Johnson making his presence felt for Memphis.
Yeah, he did a great job on the loop stunt. He was able to get in the quarterback's face. You can see him coming around here, and he's unblocked. That's going to be tough on the quarterback when he's got a guy up in his face unblocked.
And I'm going to point out again, what did they do? They kept him in the pocket. They didn't let him get outside the edges, and were able to bring the pressure up the middle on a quarterback that is barely 6'1".
So this is Jeff Locke with his heels at the back of the end zone. Horn deep to return this punt again, and looks like he's going to have some room. Reese Horn catches it at the 40, out past the 50. To the 47-yard line. Is there the flag on the play? We're going to be right back in just one moment here as we wait to find out the call from our talented group of officials.
Yeah, and this is, special teams is so hard not to get in an open field, not to get a penalty. I think this is going to be on Memphis, is going to back them up a little bit.
Yeah, and that's a tough penalty to have in this situation. They were going to have great field position, and that's the thing that they've really had the big advantage on so far in this ball game is they've won the field possession battle. The Hotshots have been starting from the back into their field, and
there are
they need
fouls
to get
by
better.
both teams. Holding, kicking team, number 48. The penalty is declined. Illegal use of hands to the face. Receiving team, number 24. Will be enforced 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down. Time.
That is our head referee, Reggie Smith.
I'm sorry. I've been out of the game just a bit. I don't understand that. If there was a penalty on both sides, why is it not offsetting?
We will discuss during the break and try to figure that out. Coach Billick, right after this message from the Air National Guard.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me.
Back to action here at the Liberty Bowl. Christian Hackenberg 1 for 4 so far in this game. Under center from Memphis, who's working with a 9-0 lead. Pig Howard upended after the 4-yard gain. Robert Nelson coming in to make that tackle for the Hotshots.
Yeah, Nelson did a really nice job on that. That's a play that is very tough if you don't have your eyes right, and they defended it very well.
But ultimately, your defensive end has to stop that, right? Don't they have to account for these jet sweeps?
They do,
but outside the end.
Yeah, but it's hard. Hey, it's hard for that defensive end, Brian.
Well, if it was easy, anybody could do it.
A 5-yard gain for Pig Howard. This time, it's Stacy breaking 2 tackles, keeping his feet, and gets the.
This time they gave the ball to Stacy, and he is a big, strong back, and you can see that they're physically winning the line of scrimmage now.
There was a slight pause, as I said, Ram, because I was trying to remember whether it was St. Louis or L.A. at the time that Zach Stacy was there.
Okay.
It was indeed St. Louis. I knew you were wondering, coaches. 1st and 10, Stacy again, and why not ride the hot hand? He picks up 3. Edmund Robinson there for the stop. Skycam brought to you this evening by Wheels Up. We have 2 of them. We love the bird's eye view from Skycam, and thank you to Wheels Up for bringing it to all of us tonight.
Hey, Roger.
Hackenberg, who is wearing a microphone, as you can hear, on 2nd and 6. Terrence McGee checking in the ballgame for Zach Stacy. Hackenberg going to throw. Over the middle, unable to find the intended target. K1 Ross. That's been one of the issues with Hackenberg since he was drafted, was accuracy.
Yeah, and that ball came out kind of hot. And I think, quite frankly, I think the receiver betrayed him just a little bit there. He hesitated as he was coming across, like he thought he was going to sit down rather than running it all the way through.
Roger. Monday.
Again, everybody trying to get on the same page on every offense in the alliance. Just week 2 of the season as Hackenberg is season at the Ravens.
Yeah, the left side of the offensive line. Again, takes a short set, turns his shoulder, had a free run at the quarterback. Tough on 3rd down. Obviously, they knew there was going to be a pass, but you can't turn your shoulders that quickly if you're going to play on the edge of tackle.
Rashad Ross, deep man, returned the Brad Wing punt. Press jumping out to the early lead, holding the explosive Hotshots offense scoreless early. Can they do it for the remainder of the first half? Time will tell. We're going to be right back after this message from Tatari.
Here's the thing. 52% of guys experience erectile dysfunction, but 0% like talking about it. That's why we built Roman. For the first time ever, you can get ED meds prescribed online, shipped discreetly to your door. Chat online with U.S. licensed physicians and get FDA-approved medication, all in single-dose packaging. No more waiting rooms, awkward talks, or lines at the pharmacy. Get started with your free online visit at GetRoman.com/TV.
Playing from behind is John Wolford in this Arizona offense. Once again, not ideal field position as Wolford back to pass. The rush is coming, has a man, unable to make that catch. That was Josh Huff, the former Philadelphia Eagle. That would have been an impressive catch had he come down with that.
It sure would have. And that shows us Wolford's arm strength. That was a long throw. He rolled to his right and threw all the way back to the left, almost to the sideline. Huff's got to come down with that one.
And they're changing up the launch point for Wolford. Obviously, they're having a little difficulty with the rush. So the boots, the waggles, short sprints to get him away from that rush.
Yes, those 2 tackles are not the starters, so they have really struggled a little bit in their protection so far.
Malcolm Bunch, Grant Weiss, both out with injuries on this one, and that looks like it was very close to being picked off, and it is indeed an interception. That's Jeremy Couture from Middle Tennessee State with the pick. Another turnover for Arizona, the 3rd turnover of the game.
Yes, no turnovers in week 1. That was obviously pivotal in their game against the Stallions to turn the ball over, particularly now. And the starting field position for Arizona, as you pointed out, Smitty, has been horrendous. And now, because they've got to move the pocket, because they're without their starting tackles, obviously Wolford is struggling a great deal more than he did in the opener.
Got a good look. Sorry to cut you off, Smitty, at that catch. I was wondering if he bobbled it and hit the ground, but it does indeed look like that was a pick.
It was a pick. It was a great play. He was in phase, and he was able to make that play.
Quick change here from Memphis. Let's see if they can take advantage. They're going to go ahead and call a timeout here once again. Hackenberg did not like what he was seeing. Don't forget, you can check out the AAF.com. You can get live box scores, stats, leaders, so much more. AAF.com, the only way to follow the league up close. So we were talking earlier about the field position for the Hotshots. They started on the 25, the 4, their own 25, 25, and 10.
Yeah, and it is about field position. And the good thing is they've been able to maintain it. Even though they've only had a couple scoring drives, they haven't taken advantage of the turnovers as much as they'd like to, but they've been able to hold on to this field position. And right now, not a lot that Arizona can do unless they start taking more of those shots down the field. We saw one on the 1st down, trying to get that big shot down the field, but Memphis is in good position to stop it.
25-yard line, going to be an inside handoff again. That is Zach Stacy almost to the first down line again. I'll give him about 9.5.
Yeah, they are winning the line of scrimmage right now. That's a great job by the offensive line, and Stacy is running behind his pads. I've been very impressed with him thus far. He's almost at 50 yards in this point of the game.
The 10 carries, 46 yards for Zach Stacy. Impressive game so far for the former Ram. They're going to give it to him again, this time stacked up behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 2. That Arizona defense doing their job here. Let's listen in to the Hall of Fame linebacker and Memphis head coach Mike Singletary just moments ago.
Keep balling, guys. Guys, keep balling. Keep doing a great job. Keep balling. Keep balling. Keep balling, guys.
Yeah, that was a good play by 51. Edmund Robinson did a nice job running through. Now they're just 3rd and short. Big play.
This time, let's see what they decide to do here as Robert Nelson makes a tackle.
Yeah, I really think spreading out Arizona gives Arizona an advantage. We saw when they did score and they did get in scoring position, they got in their big personnel, they got downhill right at the heart of the Arizona defense. To go horizontal side to side against the athleticism of the Arizona defense, I don't know how well that's going to hold up.
Perfectly content on 4th and 2 to settle for the field goal here. Jasper in. This is going to be a 35-yard try. Brad Wing, the holder. Ryan Navarro, the long snapper. Operation looks good, and the kick is indeed good. So 12-0. Memphis on top of Arizona early. I can safely say I did not expect the game to start this way.
Well, you know, winning on the road, I don't care where it is, college ball, NFL, I always say is the toughest thing to do in all of team sports. And right now, being on all the home teams won last week, we'll see how it's going to hold up again. So far, obviously the home team won earlier today.
Birmingham.
And right now, Memphis is leading.
Great points. Being at home so far in the Alliance pays off. As I told you earlier, there are several major rule differences in the Alliance that you might not be used to. No kickoffs. 2-point conversions are a must. There are no extra points. And there are no onside kicks either. You start from your own 28. You have to convert a 4th and 12. That takes the place of an onside kick. Jarrell Presley breaking a tackle. Presley out past the 50-yard line, down to the 41. Heck of a run by Presley.
And that's the Arizona running game. They're going to do these different counters and traps. If they can pop one, they have a lot of losses, obviously, as well in the running game and haven't been able to pop it. They're all about deception, and if the deception wins, you got a big play. If not, you got a loss.
Shakes off a couple of tackles there, including by Drew Jackson. This time tries to reverse field again, and he is not shaking off the tackle of Davis Tull.
This area where you think shot down the field. We've only seen one long pass attempted by Wolford. They got to be thinking run to get into a convertible 3rd down. This might be the time to take that shot.
2nd and 12. Wolford just 4 of 9 for 32 yards. 2 interceptions already. Snaps a little low. Wolford going to throw. Stays in the pocket. Dumps it off. Complete. And out to about the 36-yard line is Justin Stockton.
Yeah, that was really good pursuit. He broke a tackle, but you could see the Express continuing to attack the ball. They took good angles here at the end, and they were able to get him down on the ground.
Outside of field goal range, don't think the punt's going to do him any good, so obviously they're going for it. On 3rd down, I should say. Do we set it up and try to get in field goal position or take the shot for the 1st down?
2 receivers to the left for Wolford. Is indeed going to pass. Goes to the other side. Tipped out of bounds. Again, this Memphis defense stepping up. And it's Couture, who had that earlier interception, who gets a hand on the ball.
Yeah, as you can see, he gets a good break on the ball. He undercuts the tight end Christian there and gets his hand and knocks it out of bounds.
So Memphis with another big defensive play.
Now this is Arizona's chance to flip the script we were talking about. If they can punt it and get it down deep and then force a 3-and-out by Memphis, now you can flip that field position battle we were talking about that has so far favored the Express.
Lock on the punt one more time. The 5th-round pick of the Minnesota Vikings. Veteran of 69 NFL games with the Vikings and the Lions. Reese Horn once again back to return for Memphis. They're going to just let that clock run down and run out.
What that does obviously is it gives him more of an aiming point. You don't want to kick this thing into the end zone. I remember I had a special teams coach, his favorite saying, from this distance, you kick it into the end zone, comes out to the 20. He says, you know what? There are 19 better things that could have happened on that play. So they want to buy a little bit of size. Look, they got something going on. Looks like they might be caught the Express off guard.
Fair catch call for at the 5-yard line. So the Express going to have their work cut out for them on this drive. So far, so good, as they are up 12-0. Back in a moment after this message from Navy Federal Credit Union.
We'd do anything for each other, but this time, those bonds were definitely tested.
Frog leg for my baby brother.
Don't frogs have, like, 2 legs? So I should have 2 of these. Since I'm active duty and she's family, I was able to set my sister up with a sweet membership from Navy Federal. If you hold it closer, it looks bigger.
Eat your food.
My big sis likes to make tiny food, and I'm okay with that.
Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
Coming up at the half, Alliance All Access halftime report. Rod and TD in studio with Alex Flanagan with their first half analysis. The best sallies from the Alliance. That Stacy picks up 3. Stacy now 12 carries for 48 yards. His longest run is only 9 yards, but you know what? He's on pace for 100. I think they'll take it.
Yeah, physical style of play that eventually can wear down this defense as well.
And that's what they want to be. They want to be tough. They want to be physical. A blue-collar team is what Mike Singletary called the Memphis Express. You know, they didn't have a great opener, but he still thoroughly believes in this team as Stacy gets turned upside down, but hangs onto the ball and picks up the first down. Again, it was Robert Nelson, the corner, going low.
And what they do, they got a big personnel, shoved that tight end right down the throat of the Arizona Hotshots defense. This is the best personnel grouping they have.
Yeah, on that play, they were actually in an unbalanced line. They had to tackle over, so they really had some beef on that side.
If you have Zach Stacy running as well as he's running, you just got to keep riding this guy, right, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, look, just the unbalance Mike's talking about, but when you tackle, put the tight ends on the backside.
And when it's not him, it's Terrence McGee, and nothing going for McGee here. Steven Johnson in quickly. That's going to be a loss of 3.
Yeah, he read that well, and he shot the gap and was able to make that play in the backfield.
And now that they're bringing that personnel up to stop these runs, this is where Christian Hackenberg needs to show up with the play fake and the shot down the field.
And they are up 12-0. Hackenberg so far 1 completion, went for 7 yards. He has 5 attempts. And you are indeed correct, Coach. At some point, he's going to have to start completing some passes. 3 wide receivers to his right on 2nd and 15. This time goes to the left. That's Stacy with a stiff arm. Stacy picks up 7, and he is running with authority, just punishing would-be tacklers.
Yeah, they put 3 receivers into the boundary there and threw to the wide side of the field trying to get an isolation.
Wright coming flying in there at the end and taking the brunt of that hit from Stacy. That's when the corners have to make a business decision if they want to tackle this guy. Third and 8. Time for Hackenberg. Has has a man, and are they really going to catch? No, out of bounds.
And this is what I was talking about, finishing the catch. Good throw by Hackenberg. But you got to finish the catch, finish the drive. They had an opportunity there to get into a 4-minute mentality and not give the ball back to the Express, and now put the hands back to John Walford. I imagine we're going to see some more verticals here from Walford because the underneath passing game is not getting it done for the Hotshots.
Ross unable to make the catch there. The 6'6" wide receiver out of Kentucky. As Ross is back deep. Towards the sideline as the ball bounces at the 35. And Ross uncomfortably close to that punter. Is it just me?
No, yeah, no. That's one of the. I don't know what the upside to that is.
There's a look there, Eric Dargan, and got out of the way for a minute, but he's flirting with that thing.
All right, let's see what they want to do with Walford. Let's see if they, again, straight back in the pocket. I don't know with the tackle situation. We may see him get outside some of these short sprints, but I think they've got to start taking some shots down the field. They got better than 3.5 minutes and enough time to go ahead and run an orchestrated offense. I don't think they clearly have to get into a 2-minute yet.
Down! Mulaney! Hunt!
This time complete. And that's going to be a first down. Connor Hamlet out of Oregon State makes the catch. And
Reed and brought the man back into the backfield, so he knew exactly what coverage he was getting, and he was able to complete that ball.
Walford right back to the line of scrimmage. This time thrown and again complete to Hamlet. That one goes for 2.
Yeah, great play by number 30 there. He looked like he was in squad coverage there. He read it. He was able to take the guy out. Good tackle, taking his knees out.
Yeah, that's Stribling again, the corner out of Michigan. 5 tackles last week against Birmingham. Wolford over the middle. Pass broken up, and Stribling has been all over the field defensively.
He does a nice job of trailing and timing. It's almost like he's baiting the quarterback, trailing and then able to jump underneath and knock the balls down.
Yeah, he's got some long arms too. He's got some real good reach, and he was able to get in there and knock that ball out.
Well, all third downs are important, but with under 3 minutes to go here in the first half, desperately trying to make something happen. Big third down. His head down, and he's not going to get there. Richard Mulaney, 5 catches on 5 targets last week with his second catch of the ball game here, but that's going to be shy of the first down.
Interesting call. They're lining up on it. Now let's see if they want to just try to draw them off sides or they're actually going to take the shot. They don't get this with just over 2 minutes. They're leaving Express in great position. Now they may be just looking to draw them off sides.
And Ross winding down.
2 minutes.
Yeah, I think you're right, Coach. Doesn't look like they're going to get this one off. So
they just wanted to bring the clock down a little bit, leave them less time to go ahead and work their 2-minute offense.
It's the #1 app in the Google and Apple stores. You can download it and you can check it out.
Hardware and software creates an opportunity for fans to be able to play a digital game that we've created in real time for the first time, truly real time, unlike anything that exists.
We are building fantasy, but instead of
points for the Hotshots last week. 38. They're not on the board yet with 2 minutes to go here in the first half.
And right now, a lot of people thinking the Hotshots might be the best team in the league right now. This is an outstanding start for Mike Singletary and his Express group.
And they're going to go for it on 4th and 2 here. Two receivers to the right for Wolford. They're going to run it up the middle. He actually puts his head down, and he isn't going anywhere. Sam Montgomery out of LSU, former third-round pick of the Texans. First man there.
This is what I'm talking about, that defensive front seven or front six, depending upon who's in the game. They have the ability with a standard spacing front to be able to shut down this trick 'em run offense of the Hotshots, which has left them vulnerable. Now, we talk about the evaluation of Christian Hackenberg. Okay, you're under 2 minutes. You're on the positive side of the 50. He's got to make something happen here.
Now let's go.
Looking at Mike Singletary, who would love nothing more than attack a touchdown onto their 12-0 lead going into the locker room at halftime. Stacy having a seat as it's Rajon Neal, former Tennessee running back.
This is the price you're paying for those 2 timeouts they had to call earlier in the game because they either had the wrong personnel in or were running out of time. You'd love to have those 2 back here inside of 2 minutes.
Second and 9, as you can see the Hotshots trying to make a substitution here. They had a D lineman running off the field. They're forced to call a defensive timeout.
Second timeout of the half. 30 seconds.
It's good that they did because they got 12 guys on the field.
Look at Obum Gwacham, one of the more talented members of this defense. Speaking of talented, how about the Hall of Fame linebacker and head coach of Memphis, Mike Singletary, just a few moments ago. Let's listen.
Great job, guys. Great job. Hey, great job. You got to pay that fee. Oh, yeah. Great job. Great job.
Now let's see his offense can do the job on 2nd and 9. Rajon Neal next to Christian Hackenberg. Hackenberg going to throw. Complete to Big Howard. And it is actually, check that, knocked out of his hands. Howard unable to hold on. Sterling Moore, the guy who gets a hand on it.
Yeah, he did a really nice job here, as you can see, finishing. He took a shot. He was coming out, but he knocked it out as he came around with his left arm.
Looks like he got a couple of steps in there after that catch. Right back on the line of scrimmage here on 3rd and 7. Again, working with 4 wide receivers is Hackenberg. Hackenberg flushed out of the pocket, eludes 2 tacklers, spins out of a potential sack. And then Hackenberg puts the ball on the deck as we had flags flying, picked up the first down, and then loses the ball. Still fighting for it as Hackenberg's on the bottom of the pile.
Get your ass up.
See the ball come loose right there. Is that Stevie Johnson coming in at the last minute?
First down.
Wow. Arizona's looked like they thought it was a fumble. And again, when you sit and visit with Christian Hackenberg, I'm 6'5". You know, I'm shrinking by the minute. But, and this guy, this is a big man. He can take those kind of hits. But now we got 43 seconds and counting underneath. Obviously, they like to come away with a touchdown. But you got about another 5, 6, 7 yards to get into field goal position.
Well, they are not in a hurry right here. Perfectly content to let the clock run off the clock. Under 30 seconds to go here in the first half. And they're going to hand that ball off to Rajon Neal. You talk about how big and tough Christian Hackenberg is. 6'4", 228 is what he's listed at. And he took a monster hit as he spins out a couple of tackles from the linebacker, Stevie Johnson, right there. Ball's on the ground, recovers. And they're looking at 2nd and 8. Hackenberg completes the pass to Reese Ford. And it's out of time. Not great clock management here by Memphis.
No, it doesn't do no good to complete it inbounds.
That's something that we've seen in 2 consecutive weeks now, is the time management for all the teams really has been an issue. And that was a chance for them, Coach Billick, to get some more points on the board. That was a blown opportunity for them.
And it's that process again. You get inside the 50, you're 5 or 6 yards from field goal position. You're out of timeouts because of the mismanagement earlier. Clearly missed opportunities.
Let's check in with Jenny Dell down on the sideline. Jenny?
Coach, you talked about the importance of a fast start. How pleased are you with what you saw in that first half?
Well, I think the offense is running the ball pretty well. I just want to see us make some key plays and really manage the offense. Stop shooting ourselves in the foot. Defensively, we're doing pretty well. We're flying around. We're making some plays.
Yeah, defensively, you're shutting out the hottest offensive team from last week. So how do you maintain more of the same in the second half?
We just have to come out and continue to do our job. I mean, they're a heck of an offense. We just have to continue to execute.
All right, thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you, man.
86 total yards for Memphis, 83 of those coming on the ground. The Express rolling so far, up 12-0 on the Hotshots. The halftime report coming up.
They can't stop us. They can judge or dismiss us, but we'll come back. Because you can't stop pride or power. You can't stop speed or spirit. You can't stop genius or passion. Or you can't stop coming together, anticipating, celebrating. You can't stop the players. You can't stop the places. You can't stop Sunday or Saturday. You can't stop football, and they can't stop us. The Alliance of American Football.
Do it all.
Can we talk football?
The NFL draft is officially open.
Which team gets it right tonight? Bang! What
It is all on the line.
The Patriots have won their 6th Super Bowl title.
This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me.
Come on, Carol. Hawaii, nice.
Yeah, I'm excited. Finally earned enough rewards points.
So jealous.
Yeah, I can't wait to get that shave ice.
What's shave ice?
It's like a Hawaiian snow cone.
Why not just say snow cone?
I don't know, they call it shave ice.
You fly to Hawaii for this.
I don't go there for the ice.
You saved up your reward points for ice. That's a lot of ice.
Okay.
Go Rewards credit card from Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
It's a great day. We got football, baby.
You spoke my language right there. I'm going for
We'll not go quietly into the night.
Was that the bank here?
This team is different.
They are loaded on both sides of the ball. We've got celebrity guests one after the other.
And they call me a goat? I was thinking WWJD. What would Justin do?
We are with Carson Wentz, the Philadelphia Eagles.
What a way to start the day.
It's incredible.
That's why we're the best.
What an unbelievable play!
All right, I like that.
What this guy brings is hope.
Yes, I love that.
What does he need to do to win it?
He makes big plays.
Can we talk football? Which team gets it right tonight?
The Patriots have won their 6th Super Bowl title.
The Run Rich Run movement is back. Rich Eisen is running the 40 to benefit St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, and so can you. Upload your 40 with hashtags RunRichRun and St. Jude to give all kids a chance to play 60 minutes a day. For more information, go to NFL.com/RunRichRun. Run the 40. Make a donation and a difference in the lives of St. Jude's kids. And tune in to the Scouting Combine on NFL Network.
The most important thing is our kids and our community.
Tag team that said, all right, let's do something.
When I heard the stats about literacy by 4th grade being a big marker for success, I was sold.
It's really about bridging that gap with the law enforcement.
It's about laying a foundation to be able to create change and be able to change lives.
Our kids need to see somebody that look like them, that went through what they went through.
Hey, what you bringing to football?
Freshness?
You show how the ATL do? Bring it. That way.
Can I bring my swag? Superpowers?
Kill 'em.
Can I bring my crew?
Bring 'em.
We meet again.
Hey, maybe. Hey, maybe. You ever see me? They start going crazy. Can I bring? Definitely bring that. They're bringing it. How about you? What are you bringing?
Be in Canton when the class of 2019 take their place among the greatest of all time. Official ticket packages are on sale now and include VIP experiences, premium seating, and parties with Pro Football Hall of Famers. Get your package today at HOFexperiences.com. This is your chance for the experience of a lifetime.
All right, everybody, welcome back into our Alliance All Access studios. So it appears that the AAF has everyone mic'd up in the league except for us. So we apologize for Stallions and the Birmingham Iron. Second quarter of this game here, you guys. And we have Joel
Wanyo getting into the end zone.
With a 3-yard carry there, he punches the ball in, putting the Stallions up by 6. And then later in the game in the third quarter, Salt Lake here, guys.
There you go.
Hold on to the rock. Jamar Summers there with the strip. And then Shaheed Salmon there with the score. Look at this, you guys. Salt Lake would challenge this.
It could have gone either way.
Talk about the effort there by Summers.
He's played well. Last week he had interception. This week he had strip fumble. He had playmakers like that in football. He goes to Trent.
Still 9-6. Yep, Trent Richardson getting in the end zone there. That's his third touchdown, you guys, in the first of 2 games. And then the kicker, Salt Lake, an opportunity to tie this game, and their kicker misses 3 out of 4 kicks in this game after a great week of kicking in week 1. Week 2, not so much. Birmingham winning this game 12-9, Salt Lake falling to 0-2. After the game, Birmingham's head coach Tim Lewis celebrating and reminding his team what motivated them today.
I showed you a little video last night about a dude getting knocked out, right? He didn't knock down, but he didn't get out. He got knocked down. But he didn't quit. 9-0.
right, coming up, we have a doubleheader for you tomorrow. Orlando against San Antonio. That's the Steve Spurrier Show. You guys can't miss that one. And then later on the NFL Network at 8 o'clock Eastern, Atlanta taking on the San Diego Fleet. So, Cynthia, full slate of games for people on Sunday. Who says we don't have football on Sunday, right?
There's football on Sunday.
What are you expecting out of this Orlando game? We saw Steve Spurrier and getting his offense going.
Look, I think we see a close matchup in this one, but I think Orlando comes out on top. I think it's going to be something like 26-22 in a close one, probably the most competitive matchup of the weekend.
And, of course, we're going to see more of Steve Spurrier, which is
I hope we hear more of Steve Spurrier. Make sure his mic works, please.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll be standing by for Steve Spurrier tomorrow. Second half coming up, coming your way. This side of this break.
Monday on NFL Total Access, you've got quarterback questions. David Carr's got quarterback answers. Plus, Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year Devin Bush live. Monday, 7 Eastern. Welcome.
Damn, B. Boy, this is a great party.
He's open.
Russ?
Yes.
Halftime at the Liberty Bowl in Memphis. The Express are delivering so far with a 12-0 lead. The Hotshots playing catch-up. Head coach Rick Neuheisel with Jenny Dell.
Coach, how do you get this offense going?
Well, we just got to start hitting some run game, finding some rhythm there, and then try to stay out of so many third and longs. We had some success, hit one, fumbled it. Had a check from a play that wasn't going to work, and then the receiver didn't hear the check, wasn't even looking for the pass. We threw another pick there. So we're a little discombobulated, but we can get it turned around.
Defensively, despite the 12 points on the board, this team has played pretty well. What adjustments are you looking to see besides that?
A lot of heart, a lot of tenacity on our defense. I expect them to give us 30 more great minutes.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Take care.
All right, that's head coach Rick Neuheisel. I'm with a couple of head coaches. Mike Smith setting the edge, Brian Billick in the middle. And you heard your former assistant, Rick Neuheisel. They're not used to these turnovers. None last week, 3 today.
Yeah, two things jump out. One to me is they've got one play of 20 yards. Last week they had 7 of 20 yards or more. They're not explosive. They're on the road. You got to get those big plays. Haven't been able to get the ball down the field and third down, Coach.
Yeah, they're 0 for 6. They're 0 for in the first half. They've got to burn on third down.
Big second half coming up for both teams. Memphis, of course, looking for their first win of the season as they were shut out last week by Birmingham. Still trying to get Christian Hackenberg going. 4-9 for 26 yards in the first half. Took a couple of sacks. Also picked up a couple of first downs with his feet. They're going to start the game on the ground. This time it is Terrence McGee. And Zach Stacy was the guy who was really carrying the bulk of the load. 14 carries, 51 yards in the first half, while McGee just 3 carries for 8 yards so far.
Yeah, the Express, they've done what they wanted to do. They wanted to establish the run. They've been able to do that. But they're going to have to be able to have a much better passing game if they're going to really want to play the way they need to play on offense.
There's a look at Zach Stacy just getting everything situated before he checks back into the ball game. 2nd and 5 now for Christian Hackenberg. And again, McGee fighting to get back to the line of scrimmage. Trenton Thompson, the man who drags him down. All right, first half stats brought to you by Air National Guard. A look at the numbers. A goose egg in the points column for the Hotshots, who put 38 on the board last week. 3 turnovers stands out. 57 rushing yards for the Hotshots as opposed to 90 on the ground for that Zach Stacy-led rush offense for the Express. And again, it's going to be McGee in the backfield. Hackenberg looking for K'Wan Ross, but there's going to be a flag on this one.
Yeah, they may dodge a bullet here and get the conversion. The DB may have been in just a little bit early on the outside on the receiver. Oh boy, I might have to agree with you there, Coach. It looked like he came in. Just as long as you don't alter the receiver, you can carry your hand on the back as long as you don't alter his path at all. I think they may have dodged a bullet there. Okay, you're right.
And Hackenberg looking unfazed, took a huge hit from Obum Watch and bounces right back up. And then the handoff, the quick handoff to Dantes Bird, one of the fastest men on the team. Skycam, by the way, brought to you this evening by Wheels Up. We have 2 of them. Always love this bird's eye view. Thank you to Wheels Up for bringing us Skycam tonight.
Now, we've seen 3 jet sweeps or fake jet sweeps and then a handoff to the running back. At some point, we've got to see one of these jet sweep fakes with Hackenberg getting on the outside on a boot or a wagon.
Hackenberg just 4 completions in the game so far. Staring at 2nd and 8 here. Going to be throwing once again. And there just was nothing going there. Trying to find Dantes Bird, but that was not close.
Yeah, he got hit on that throw as well. That was good pressure there by the Hotshots defensive line.
I think you can see some frustration in Hackenberg. You know, there again, he's going to get this off, but he's going to get knocked down. They're running a lot of different things, and I get that, but whew, I sound like a broken record. But my God, you get a first down here. Get back in that eye.
3rd and 8 as you get a look at Bird on the sideline. McGee in the backfield with Hackenberg feeling the pressure again, taken down right away. That's Boom Watchell, the converted wide receiver to defensive end at Arizona State. They like him.
Yeah, he is really having a hell of a game. Excuse my language, but he is winning on the edge and getting after that offensive tackle.
Yeah, that's the 3rd time Anthony Morris has given up pressure off that backside of Hackenberg.
Boom Watcham, a 6th round pick of Seattle in 2015. Played in 15 NFL games with the Saints and the Jets. Rashad Ross deep to return this kick. Going to let that bounce, and that ball will be downed at the 27-yard line. Back in just a moment. After this quick message from MGM Resorts.
Yeah, they do. They're just...
Welcome back to the Liberty Bowl. It is the Hotshots with the ball. Tim Cook in the backfield next to John Wolford. They put 38 points on the scoreboard last week against Salt Lake. They have yet to score a point here in Memphis. They get a nice run here from Jarrell Presley, who picks up 11 and the first down. Check that, Tim Cook in the game for the aforementioned Presley.
Going up tempo now, see if they can catch Memphis out of structure on defense.
Here's Cook again. Puts his head down for 2. Check out the numbers last week. We talked about all the points they scored. 38 versus tonight for Arizona, with just not a whole lot going. 416 total yards, 267 passing yards across the board. Just an entirely different looking offense.
That's the lack of the vertical play.
Cook spun around guy onto the backfield before he's dragged down by Drew Jackson.
And it's like I said earlier, the Arizona running game is all about deception. It's all about faking one way, possible coming out the backside, pulling the guards. They're going to run traps. They're going to run draws. They're going to run counters. And if you guess right, you get gashed. But if you don't, you get lit up. And they've had a lot of tackles behind the line of scrimmage in their running game.
3rd down and 10. One thing to remember here, both starting tackles out in this game, Malcolm Bunch and Brant Weiss, who were injured last week, unable to return tonight. 3rd and 10 for Wolford. Forced to leave the pocket, and we have a flag.
Against Memphis is going to be either pass interference or holding.
There is a flag on the play at the 47.
Illegal contact, defense, number 21. 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run, 1st down.
That's Terrell Bonds with the illegal contact, the corner out of Tennessee State.
Yeah, that's a tough penalty there on 3rd down and 10. You want to be aggressive, but you want to make sure that you play smart.
Particularly leaving him short of the 1st down.
Tim Cook still in the game, takes the handoff up the middle for 3. They're giving Cook a little work here. Now 4 carries, 14 yards.
At some point, we ought to see Wolford pull the ball back out and get around the edge in one of these read options out the backside, because the way they're closing on the running back, it's there for him.
Picks up the 1st down for the Hotshots.
Oh, and a penalty. Looks like they're going to get a late hit on the quarterback.
Looked like he was well into that slide before the flags came flying. I believe it was Drew Jackson that was the man who came.
Yeah, it's good coverage downfield, and he takes off, and let's see.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's going to get called, yeah. And that's a defensive guy saying absolutely, so you know it's a penalty.
Yeah, you got to lay off on that one. There's no doubt.
Not a whole lot of contact there from Jackson, but I understand. 3rd and 1. This time
drives me nuts.
Presley's back in the game, and Julius Wormsley in that Memphis defense, I believe, keep him about 6 inches short of the 1st down.
3rd and 1, and you get in the gun.
And how about 4th and 1 in the gun? Do you hate that as much?
Yeah. Let's see again. He's trying to draw him offside. It was actually going to get a call.
Under center, quarterback sneak. Let's see if Wolford can convert on 4th down here.
That was pretty tight. Looked like he had it, but this is going to be tight.
Yeah, looking where the officials came in, it looks like it's going to be a 4th down stop, and that's a big momentum changer.
That's a lot of beef in the middle. There again, it was the deception. Coming up, acting like you're trying to pull him off sides. Gets behind the guard like he's going to take the snap there. Plus, not the biggest quarterback in the world. Boy, this is going to be an interesting call. They get a little bit of... Wow, how about that?
That is a continuation of the trouble we have seen so far on 3rd and 4th down. Now 0 for 7 on 3rd down conversions and 0 for 2 when going for it on 4th. We'll be right back here in Memphis after this quick message from Wheels Up. Well, Hackenberg back out on the field. First down on the 42-yard line. Anthony Manzo-Lewis working out of the backfield. And Hackenberg working over the middle. That's just his 5th complete pass of the game to Reese Horn. Once again, all head coaches are Mike. Let's listen to Mike Singletary just a moment ago.
Great job. Yo, big man. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job.
All right, things going well for Singletary. 4th, 2nd, and 4. Is Zach Stacy very close to picking up the first down for Memphis.
Yeah, this is very impressive early on both sides of the football. They're winning the line of scrimmage, both offensively and defensively.
And Arizona, Smitty, hasn't been able to stop tackle run yet.
The ball at the 49-yard line.
How about
now
Memphis?
Here's another 3rd and shorts.
just making a statement.
Get into an empty and get in gun. Yeah, that's exactly what I would do on 3rd and short. What do I know?
Hackenberg working out of the shotgun. Squeezes it in there, complete to Reese Horn, perhaps the best hands on the team. Hackenberg told us that Reese Horn reminds him of Eric Decker, picks up the first down. And what do you know, Coach?
I know that he converted out of the gun. Okay.
Hey, it happens once every.
Here we go. Now we're going to get in the eye. I know the coaches are wired up. Maybe they should wire us up for the coaches to hear us. What do you think? Nice run, too.
Oh, nothing going there. That was a quick play by Stevie Johnson, a tackling machine for Arizona.
They've got 8 guys, even 9, including the free safety, who's cheating up from tackle to tackle. They've got to do a play-action fake down the field. This would be just the place for it, too.
Something that Christian Hackenberg really did well at Penn State. Told us he would like to do more. Keeping his feet, eluding one tackle, out inside the 30-yard line. And then that's Rajon Neal, who was in for McGee. Good run for the former Tennessee running back.
And now he's put them in great position with a 3rd and 5 to where you're in field goal position. Again, the impetus is on the quarterback. You can't take a sack. You got to keep it in the field goal range. The big bodies here. Are they going to try to run for it, or again, does it turn into the play action fake? They got that big fullback as the single back.
Hackenberg going to throw on 3rd and 5. Looks out to his right. And he was unable to convert. He was looking for the fullback, Manzo-Lewis.
And he was wide open. Those are the little throws where the criticism of Christian Hackenberger, you can see he's the frustration with it. He knows he missed that. That's one of the open throws you got to make.
He is incredibly frustrated.
Replay, 3rd down.
Well, evidently there was a penalty.
Well, they're going to replay 3rd down here. And it looks like he wants the play in quicker.
But I don't understand what this should be 2nd down if they accepted a penalty.
So it looks like 3rd and 15 here as Hackenberg's trying to get things hurried up with just 4 seconds to go on the play clock. We're down to 2. Gets the snap off before the play clock expires. And that's not going to go anywhere as Rajon Neal loses 1. So there's some confusion going on the offensive side of the ball.
I didn't realize that they had, I didn't see any flag. So I didn't realize that they got him for obviously delay of game.
We had the back running out
to back it up.
He's not supposed to be out there. We're supposed to run dragon off the backside. That's what I'm saying. We got to get those things done because they're just doing their own shit. Huh?
Apologies for the language. We have the quarterbacks mic'd up, and you could just hear the frustration from Hackenberg. Remember, these teams, this offense has only been together now for 6 weeks, so still trying to get on the same page as Red Wings punt is fielded right at the 20-yard line by Ross. Fair catch made. We're going to be right back after this message from me.
We're family. We do anything for each other. But this time, those bonds were definitely tested.
Frog leg for my baby brother.
Don't frogs have like 2 legs? So they should have 2 of these. Since I'm active duty and she's family, I was able to set my sister up with a sweet membership from Navy Federal. If you hold it closer, it looks bigger.
Eat your food.
My big sis likes to make tiny food, and I'm okay with that.
Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
All right, 12-0. Memphis on top of Arizona. Kind of a discombobulated offensive series for Memphis just a moment ago as Arizona trying to make something happen. Getting on the board. And that handoff to Tim Cook. Going to pick up about 5.
And let's make it clear what happened, because I missed it too, quite frankly. They got it down to a 3rd and 5. All right, he missed the throw, but it ended up being offensive pass interference, which they were able to push the ball out because obviously they didn't want to give an opportunity to get in field goal position.
Cook again turns the corner, picks up the first down and more, still on his feet as he is inside the 50 before he's finally shoved out of bounds. And that's the biggest run of the season so far for Cook.
And like we said, this is what the Arizona offense is about. All of a sudden, they'll pop one outside, then they'll run another quick play, and then lose some yardage. But as long as they can make enough of those big plays, they'll be on the positive side of the equation.
28-yard gain for Tim Cook. Wolford going to throw here. Dumps it off quickly to Gerald Christian, Mr. Irrelevant from the 2015 draft. The final selection in the draft by the Arizona Cardinals. Played in 1 NFL game, had 1 target, 1 catch with Buffalo. Right back to the line of scrimmage on 2nd and 6 here for Wolford and Arizona.
Yeah, this would be a time to take a shot.
Looks like Wolford made his mind pretty quickly he was going to run, and that proved to be a wise decision as he picks up the first down. Let's check in with Jenny Dell on the sideline with an update.
Yeah, guys, Hackenberg clearly frustrated over here. Before the game, Mike Singletary saying he needs to take ownership. This is my offense, not the Express offense. But he admitted before the game that he gets in his own way sometimes, and that's apparently what's happening here as well. And just an update, Brandon Silver's warming up on this side.
Wow, interesting stuff there as Tim Cook picks up 3. Thank you, Jenny. Brandon Silvers did relieve Hackenberg in the openers. We wait to find out what the penalty was. Came in the 4th quarter, also threw an interception. Silvers played in Troy. If you remember a couple of years ago, Troy went into LSU and beat LSU at LSU.
And that may have as much, waiting to see what the penalty is, that may have as much to do with the demeanor of Christian Hackenberg right now that I know Mike Singletary may be concerned about, rather than the fact that he's 7 of 13.
12 men on defense. 5-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
Yeah, they're in there, no huddle here.
Yeah, they're moving quick on first down here. Cook still in the game. Cook with room. Picks up 3.
Yeah, it looks like the right corner is injured. He's down. Doesn't look like he's going to be getting out.
That's not what we were supposed to do,
He still wants to play, though. He made that tough business decision.
We had the back running out there. He's not supposed to be out there. We were supposed to run Dragon off the backside. That's what I'm saying.
That's some of the audio from Christian Hackenberg. He is clearly frustrated.
Hey, the spotters did a nice job on this play, getting that kid out. He was definitely injured. I know he wanted to stay in, but player safety should come first.
Player safety, obviously an emphasis not only in the NFL, but here in the AAF. 2nd and 3 for Arizona. This is their best drive of the game so far. Cook picks up the first down.
Yeah, they're starting to establish a running game in this drive. They've been very impressed with the way they've run the ball here in this drive.
So Tim Cook, now 8 carries, 54 yards, was inactive last week. A running back out of Oregon State. Spent part of the preseason with Jacksonville.
Yeah, Tim Cook was a guy that really ran the ball well against us when I was in Tampa in the fourth quarter. He scored 2 touchdowns. We couldn't tackle the guy. He was a beast. Another timeout, right?
Well, this was the time, yeah, in Memphis, and I think in this instance, you got Dennis Thurman didn't like the alignment. They just get a first down.
Take a look at the Navy Federal Credit Union quarterback comparison. John Wolford, the offensive player of the week in the Alliance last week, and Christian Hackenberg. Hackenberg, 7 of 13 for 44 yards. Wolford just 9 of 16. Certainly not sparkling numbers for either quarterback. What you don't see there is Wolford also has 2 interceptions in this game so far. But this, their best drive of the game, 6 plays, 55 yards. Hotshots trying to get on the board.
Yeah, he's checking here with the 2 safeties deep.
That's the verticals and 3 verticals on the right side.
Wolford going to give to Presley. Presley inside the 20 down to about the 16.
And this is the kind of number count running game that they want. I give him great credit for being down here. You see, get the 3 wideouts to the one side. He liked the number count on the inside. Even though the running game hasn't been stellar tonight, they stuck with it. Check to the run.
Right back to the line of scrimmage on 2nd and 3. Presley dancing around, very close to the first down. Looks like he's just shy.
Yeah, another good job by that defensive front. They've done a nice job winning the line of scrimmage, especially against those 2 replacement tackles that they've got in right now.
Talk about beef. A lot of beef on that defensive front for Memphis. 3rd and 1. Let's see what they can do here. Quick throw, complete. Trying to get in the end zone, and he does. Rashad Ross, 2 touchdowns last week, gets the first one tonight.
I think if you look at this again, it's going to be an RPO.
Yeah, absolutely. Good call for them. If you're going to get in the gun on 3rd and 1, give yourself an opportunity as they come up, get the RPO.
3rd down conversion of the game, and it goes for 6. So maybe this is what they needed to get things heated up a little bit.
Yeah, this may. Absolutely.
Presley in at running back. Wolford to throw. Corner of the end zone. Over the head of the receiver. Was trying to find Richard Mullaney. He goes 6'2", but even he couldn't reach that one. So it's going to be 12-6 with a minute to go here in the 3rd. Arizona finally gets on the scoreboard. I called their game last week. I've seen what this offense can do, and they can heat up with a quickness once this Arizona offense gets going.
And it's just what we said. When they can get the running game going with their deceptive running game and get that gash because you're out of position, because you're trying to configure to maybe take away the RPO, which they really haven't hit a lot tonight, with the exception of that last touchdown, then all of a sudden now this trickeration of a running game in terms of the counters, the traps, the draws can do some damage.
So Hackenberg is back in at quarterback. Getting some help here from Zach Stacy, the former Rams running back, with his longest run of the game down to the 25-yard line.
Great answer. Great answer for the drive with the hot shots and the touchdown to come back and hit a run like that.
50 yards puts Stacy at 101 for the game.
Yeah, great anticipation, stop and go there in the hole. He let the blocks develop and then he hit it. It was a great run there. That's all on the running back. There was a missed tackle, but it's a great run. Look at that hustle by Stevie Johnson on the end of that play, though.
You gotta like that, former defensive guy.
Oh, love it.
And that pass is complete. Picks up the first down once again. Pig Howard.
And that's the kind of accuracy we haven't seen out of Hackenberg before. That's a tougher throw than you think. You think it's just a little outside shot, but you hit the receiver in his lead glove, gives him a chance to get downhill and get big game.
So we reached the end of the 3rd quarter. 50-yard run from Zach Stacy. Completion from Hackenberg. Memphis trying to answer after the Hotshots' first touchdown of the game. We are back after this.
NFL Network is celebrating Black History Month.
Our kids, you teach them to appreciate what they have.
If you work hard, you will be rewarded, regardless of where you come from or not.
My strength was unbending.
NFL Network's celebration of Black History Month continues Friday at 8. The Run Rich Run movement is back. Rich Eisen is running the 40 to benefit St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, and so can you. For more information, go to NFL.com/runrichrun and tune in to the Scouting Combine on NFL Network.
Do it all.
Caught! Touchdown!
Can we talk football?
The NFL draft is officially open.
Which team gets it right tonight?
Bang! What a catch!
It is all on the line.
The Patriots have won their 6th Super Bowl title.
Back in Memphis now, Jenny Dell on the sideline with John Wolford, quarterback for the Hotshots.
John, starting to get the ball moving a little bit more. Is it that you're executing better, or is it a different game plan?
Yeah, we're executing better. They're doing a good job up front, getting pressure and stopping the run early on. We got to get that run game going, and that'll open things up in the pass game.
You're only down by 1 score right now. What are you telling the guys to keeping them in the game?
Yeah, it's just a one-possession game right now. Every possession matters, especially if they get. So that's our focus.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Yep.
All right, that John Wolford getting things started here in the fourth quarter. Memphis trying to answer after the Hotshots' first touchdown of the game.
Yeah, they've got 4 into the boundary here. And running back to the wide side of the field.
McGee inside the 5, but we have a penalty marker down.
This is going to be an interesting call. Backside away from the play.
There is no foul on the play. It's 2nd down.
All right, thank you, Reggie.
Yeah, the run was away from the backside. It was an unconsequential. Good no call by the officials. I love the pace that the officials work at. This is, and believe me, I'm not a fan of the officials. They got $75,000 of my money. So when I can get a compliment from me, that's big.
It wasn't the AAF finding it, Coach.
No, but hey, officials are officials. They were dressed just like these guys.
Hackenberg going to take a timeout. He has been quick to do so when he sees something he doesn't like. Again, he wants that play coming in quicker. Don't forget to check out AAF.com. You can get live box score stats, all the leaders, and so much more. It's AAF.com, the only way to follow the league up close. Check it out.
I think it's fascinating that Hackenberg's back in the game. You know, Silver was warming up. Obviously, he was frustrated. Mike Singletary thought differently of it. He wants to stick with Christian.
He does.
He really does. I want to give him one more shot now if he can push it in here, even though he hasn't really had to throw the ball.
2nd and 4 now. Zach Stacy, Manzo Lewis, the fullback and tailback in the backfield. This is Stacy. He's driven backwards after a gain of 1.
Now again, I believe that was the formation that they've been running that big where they brought the tackle over.
They're leaving this personnel in on a 3rd down, and this will be an interesting call.
And
whether they run
play
it or
action.
they go with the play action, get him outside a little bit. Remember the last time they did that, that fullback got him the flat wide open.
3rd and 3. Hackenberg rolling to his right, pressured, decides to run it, and Hackenberg decked after he's in the end zone. Touchdown Memphis. Flags flying everywhere. You knew that was coming. Tremendous individual effort from Christian Hackenberg.
Good athleticism and a big man. Now he's hard to bring down.
Look at that.
Steps up underneath, protects the ball, and a late shot. That's going to get called every time. Team coming into his defense, you like to see that.
Is a touchdown. After the play, personal foul unnecessary.
I don't know if Stevie Johnson just kind of lost track of where he was, but he was coming in there full speed.
Yeah. Yes, he's wanting to know what hash they want to put the ball on for the conversion here.
The communication maybe not a strong point for the Express so far from
and he's not for want of showing his frustration.
No, he is not. But you know what? They're up 18-6. Maybe they can iron out these kinks a little bit later as they go for two here. Hackenberg. And that two-point conversion no good. Fabian Guerra gets a hand on it but can't make the catch. 18-6 after the Christian Hackenberg touchdown run. He's only thrown for 59 yards, but that may be the biggest touchdown of the game so far. We are back right after this.
Here's the thing. 52% of guys experience erectile dysfunction, but 0% like talking about it. That's why we built Roman. For the first time ever, you can get ED meds prescribed online, shipped discreetly to your door. Chat online with U.S. licensed physicians and get FDA-approved medication, all in single-dose packaging. No more waiting rooms, awkward talks, or lines at the pharmacy. Get started with your free online visit at GetRoman.com/TV.
All right, back here in Memphis, Christian Hackenberg with the touchdown run puts the Express up 18-6. See what Arizona can do here. Tim Cook picks up 3.
Yeah, it's been the story of the whole game with Arizona. Not great field position. Obviously, the penalty in the end zone put it back, made them start back on the 10-yard line.
Right back on the line of scrimmage on second down. I'll look at the numbers there for Tim Cook, 59 yards. That's a season high. Wolford going to throw here. Has a man. That's Ross. He's popped after he picks up the first, but holds on to the 36.
Yeah, they're going to need to continue to get him outside the pocket.
And again, we have a penalty marker down.
Well, that's as good a hit. I hope this isn't a hit as a defenseless receiver.
That's Cotrere, the corner out of MTSU.
The result of the play is a first down. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Offense, number 15. That'll be a 15-yard penalty. It's 1st and 10.
Unnecessary roughness on Ross. I'd love to get another look at that.
He must have done something after the play.
Yeah,
a good clean hit. He must have done something after the play.
Hit. That's the way they're going to coach it up.
There's a look at Wolford's numbers. Threw for nearly 300 last week. Cook putting his head down, carrying a couple of tacklers with him. I think that's going to go in the books as, again, a 7.
And Arizona's likely to get a little bit of running space here because I can imagine Dennis Thurman, the defensive coordinator for the Express, is going to start to configure them, figuring the clock's winding down. We just don't want them to have the big play. How many times can they go the length of the field just running the ball?
Yeah, they've done a good job stopping this explosive offense tonight, not giving up the explosive plays.
Christian drops it. He had 3 catches for 44 yards and a touch in week 1. I really like what the Louisville
conversion here.
Yeah, that's one you got to make.
They're in my favorite formation again, the gun.
Didn't realize you were so anti-shotgun.
I do, but on third, Bill Walsh is rolling over in his grave. God bless his soul.
Wolford gonna throw, has a man. Pass complete. Ross making amends for the earlier penalty. Down to the 40-yard line, first down, Arizona.
Great time to take a shot. Got to give him credit for taking a shot on a 3rd and 2. All or nothing, changing the field position. Corner stumbled a little bit. Looks like he'd stumbled coming out of his break.
Yes, he did.
Great throw by Wolford. Ross starting to come awake now. 34-yard gain for him.
Ball start. Offense number 89. That's a 5-yard penalty. First down.
Ross, 4 catches, 69 yards so far.
Great placement of the ball.
So 1st and 10 now on the 45 for Arizona. They're going to keep it on the ground, and they're going to be glad that they did so, because Justin Stockton doing some things as he breaks into the house from distance. My goodness, what a run from the kid from Texas Tech.
Yeah, the draw is the play right now. They've gotten 2 huge chunks out of the draw play. Obviously puts them right back in the game.
What did we say earlier? They can put up points quickly. Doing so on the ground here. Great run from Stockton.
Yeah, there were 2 missed tackles. That thing shouldn't have gone to the house, but it was a good play call.
45-yard run for Justin Stockton. Smitty sounds so disappointed when he has to talk about missed tackles, Coach.
This is that little inside. Yeah, how about that? Oh,
he's got the outside. And he gets in for the 2-point conversion.
Finally ran the bit of the option.
John
barely
Wolford
got in.
We've seen what his arm can do. He can also use his feet as well. And this Arizona offense has found a spark. Now a 4-point ball game here in Memphis after the Stockton touchdown run and the 2-point conversion run by Wolford. We have a ball game here at the Liberty Bowl, folks. 18-14, just over 11 and a half minutes to go. All right, here's a look at the scores by quarter. Took a while, but Arizona finally on the board here as they do a nice job with Zach Stacy. That's Raheem Yates, the youngster out of Nevada Arena.
And I love the way they're responding to one another. We finally got the long drive by Arizona for the score. Obviously, Memphis comes right back with the big run, sets themselves up for scoring position, and then Arizona comes right back and does the exact same thing. That's showing a lot of fortitude on both these teams in terms of not letting the game get away from them.
Look at Hackenberg, Anthony Manzo-Lewis to his left, and Zach Stacy on his right. Pass swung out to Stacy. Stacy met right away. Might have picked up 2.
Yeah, that was great pursuit there, coming from the inside out by the Hotshots there. They are still playing super hard football, both teams.
Well, the one thing I noticed last week, and certainly it's showing itself right now, a very active linebacker core for Arizona.
Oh, they're very active. They've got some guys that can run, and they can stick it in the ground when the ball's thrown out into the flat. Looks like we're having trouble here with some personnel errors.
3rd and 9.
Yep, they didn't have the right personnel.
Their first timeout of the half.
I hope that doesn't come back and haunt them later on in the ball game.
Those timeouts so valuable, as you know.
We saw in the first half
yeah.
how it affected the Express having to burn 2 timeouts when they could have used it at the end of the game to maybe salvage a field goal.
The next generation of NFL stars ready to make a name for themselves at this year's NFL Scouting Combine, and only NFL Network is their live complete coverage of the 2019 NFL Scouting Combine. It starts on March 1st right here on NFL Network. You perform well at that combine, specifically in that 40, you can make yourself a lot of money, Smitty.
Absolutely. The scouts love that 40-yard dash.
That they do. Christian Hackenberg would love nothing more than a first down on 3rd and 9. Dumps it off quickly and keeps his feet, breaks a tackle. Brandon Barnes not able to pick up the first, however.
Yeah, at some point they're just going to have to get a longer pass down the field. Everything's been underneath. hasn't been particularly efficient about it. Obviously running the ball well. It's going to put a little pressure on the Memphis defense now to give the ball right back to the Hotshots.
Breaks that first tackle of Dexter McDougal. Brad Wing once again back to punt for Memphis from just inside his own 20-yard line, and that looks like that kind of went off the side of his foot. Going to be fielded by Ross, who's taken down by a pair of Memphis Express defenders, Eric Dargan being one of them.
Yeah, that was really good coverage.
Memphis has got to get back to the plan they had for the first 3 quarters that worked very well. Do not let Wolford on outside the pocket. Make him work from within the pocket. Use your standing space in front to make sure you stop the run. Yes, you got to be vulnerable. You got to make sure you're not giving up the big plays down the field. They have given up the one big pass, but that was the formula to stop this offense in the first 3 quarters.
Skycam brought to you this evening by Wheels Up. Thank you to our good friends at Wheels Up. Arizona 304 total yards. 199 of those have come in the second half. Just 95 in the first. That's Stockton there. So they're starting to heat up this offense a little bit here in the second.
Yes, they are. They've done a nice job with their gap scheme. They're starting to pull the guards a little bit more, and that's helped them a bunch.
I know we said this earlier, but just a reminder to those of you watching at home, perhaps a reason for that slow start. They are playing without both starting tackles. Wolford back to pass again, has a man wide open, breaks a tackle, and that is Josh Huff, the former Philadelphia Eagle. One more tackle inside the 20, and down at the 6-yard line, Josh Huff with the biggest play of his Alliance career.
2 big pass plays down the field. We saw the vertical, and now we're seeing just a great play. Missed tackles, right, Coach? I mean, at the end of the day, you've got people there. It's like he just thought he was going to spin out of it, but
here's Wolford. He's going to keep it himself. This time he gets down to about the 4-yard line. Huff setting that run up with a 64-yard gain.
Boy, it'd be huge if they could hold him to 3, because I'm not sure at this point whether Memphis, if indeed Arizona is able to score a touchdown, whether Memphis is capable of moving the ball down the field well enough to get the game back on their side of the ledger.
It's funny to hear you say that at this point with a 4-point lead, but I absolutely agree with you. They're just not moving the ball very well here in the second half. Presley trying to pop it to the outside, and that's going to go in the books as a no gain.
That's a great job bouncing the ball out to the edge, and they were pursuing inside out. It was a no-gain play.
DeMarcus Gates, 58, the linebacker there for Memphis.
He is a run-and-hit backer, and he did a great job there running inside out. They were able to string it out with the defensive end in the secondary, and he ran from the middle of the field.
Mike Singletary telling us that Gates has no idea how special he can be. 3rd and goal for Arizona. Wolford to throw, complete over the middle. Tim Cook, touchdown, Hotshots.
Yeah, they got him on the angle route there with the back coming out of the backfield. Great call by the offensive coordinator and head coach over there with the Hotshots.
Yeah, just everything flooded out to the right side. Short little sprint by the quarterback with a little cut route back into the inside, as you say, the Texas route to the running back.
5-play, 75-yard drive for Arizona. A rough start for John Wolford early in the game with 2 interceptions. Now has 2 touchdown passes to go along with 196 passing yards. Jarrell Presley checking in the game for the 2-point conversion attempt. Wolford going to throw, tries to squeeze it in there. That's going to be incomplete.
Which is big because it makes it a field goal game. If indeed Memphis can get in field position, run the ball well, go back to what was working the best for you, get yourself within a field goal to take the lead.
They're going to get the ball on their own 25. Let's see if Memphis can string together a drive here as they are now down by 2, trailing the Hotshots here in Memphis. We'll be right back after this message from the Navy Federal Credit Union.
Come on, Carol! Hawaii, nice!
Yeah, I'm excited. Finally earned enough rewards points.
So jealous.
Yeah, I can't wait to get that shave ice.
What's shave ice?
It's like a Hawaiian snow cone.
Why not just say snow cone?
I don't know, they call it shave ice.
You fly to Hawaii for this.
I don't go there for the ice.
You saved up your reward points for ice.
That's a lot of ice.
Okay.
Go Rewards credit card from Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
Christian Hackenberg now trying to call it a comeback. Memphis down by 2. And Hackenberg looking for Pig Howard. That falls incomplete.
They attempted to pass over 10 yards.
That's a good question.
You know, there just seems to be everything underneath. I understand the efficiency you're going for, the extended handoffs to go with your running game. But at some point, I mean, explosive plays and turnovers are still the 2 biggest determinants for success. And we just haven't had any on the part of the Memphis Express.
Not in the passing game.
Not in the passing.
Just 65 passing yards for Hackenberg so far. And this is going to be Terrence McGee.
Again, they're running the gap scheme, trying to get the down, and around. It looks like now they're going to be doing their nickel defense or their dime defense.
They're looking at 3rd down once again on the 28. Empty set for Hackenberg. As his fullback Anthony Manzo-Lewis lined up to the right. That's complete, gets the first down. He's been looking for Reese Horn on the catch.
This time missed tackles on the part of the Express, giving them that big play that we're looking for. Or excuse me, of the Hotshots.
And then Reese Horn out to the 45. Horn now 4 catches, 47 yards. That one goes for 17. We're down inside of 6 minutes to go in this ball game. Zach Stacy checking back in.
Back into their big personnel, their 21 personnel.
And Rajon Neal not going anywhere.
That was a nice job by the Hotshots up front. They really won the line of scrimmage, and they were trying to run that power play again, which they've had success on throughout the night.
Will Sutton, one of their defensive leaders, makes the stop. Look at that defensive line. Hardison, Sutton, Trenton Thompson, Raheem Yates making some noise as well in this game. See if they can hold Memphis here. Looking at 2nd and 10. This time it's Neal again, not going anywhere. Edmund Robinson, one of 3 men in on that stop, as was Moore.
Yeah, they did a great job stringing that out. And now this is a tough down for the Express. 3rd down and 10. This is when Hackenberg's got to step up and make a play, right, guys?
Yeah, and he's got the personnel to do it.
Yeah.
They're spreading that now into empty, giving themselves as many options. Let's see if the Hotshots want to bring the pressure.
Roger, Monday, set.
5 of 14 on 3rd down, or the Express. 3 receivers to his left. Hackenberg looking over the middle. That one is again complete to Horn.
I think this is short zone.
I believe he is short as well.
And Coach Singletary's going to have to make a decision here to go for it on 4th down with
I think you have to.
4 minutes and 6 seconds left. I believe you have to as well, Brian. And then if you don't get it, you got to rely on your defense making a stop. Bring those big boys in, right?
Yeah, and you got a quarterback.
Let's please not be in shotgun.
Please, please. I may drop.
Putting his head down, going to be very close.
That depends if it's going to be a right foot or a left foot spot.
So you're telling me if the official is left-handed and left-footed, I lose?
Looks like he has.
Okay, got a right-footed official with the right hand.
And let's see here. It's going to be a
he's on
one.
the other side of the 45.
Would be shocked if they didn't give this to the Express. Here's another look. Just kind of burrows his head in there, follows his offensive line, particularly his center, and
Yeah, he got a little surge, but then someone knocked him back.
A little Brady act there where he found that gap in
the
between.
ruling on the field is that the ball carrier was short of the 45-yard line, which is the line to gain. It's a turnover on downs, 1st and 10 Arizona. Timeout on the field for an injured player.
That is shocking. Let's listen in to when they spotted the ball here just a minute ago. Because the challenge flag is thrown.
That ain't the way the ball. Hey, the ball's over there. The man is over here.
The ruling on the field is that the ball carrier was short on the 45-yard line.
I think you called it, Dan. I think he was over the 45 and kind of got pushed back in the scrum.
Challenging the ruling on the field that he was short on the line of the game. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Is that what you're asking me?
Simple, straight, and forward when you talk to Mike Singletary, right?
Yeah.
That was a fantastic answer.
The ruling on the field that the runner was short of the line of the game.
That's Toby Weathersby, the right tackle, who's down on the field as Memphis challenges the call of short of the first down. To me, it just looked like a bad spot. I think Coach Singletary has a point, Smitty.
And the easy thing about it is the line of game is right at the 45. So you have a real, if you don't have it on a yard marker like that, it can be a little nebulous, but in terms of that's the line to gain right to the 45-yard line, it's going to be real easy to see on a replay whether he got past that 45-yard line.
Yeah, and sometimes it's tough when it's a scrum. If it's not definitive, they got to stay with the call on the field. So this is going to be a big decision here on the instant replay.
Yeah, this is a huge call right here for Memphis as we wait to find out what the ruling is from the replay official.
Yeah, there's only 3 minutes and 29 seconds. This is going to be real big.
We have absolutely nothing to see the ball. The rule in the field stand is called the runner short of the line to gain.
That's except for further review, the ruling that the ball carrier is short.
All right, let's listen in.
That would be correct. That would be correct, and we're going to charge.
Memphis will be charged with their final timeout.
That would be correct, and they won't be able to challenge, obviously, the rest of the game. And the clock was stopped anyway, so it's absolutely correct.
I believe you say the call will stand.
Thank you, Reggie.
And the verbiage is important.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands as called. 1st and 10.
It doesn't mean it was confirmed. It doesn't mean that they saw it. They're saying they saw nothing that indicated that he did reach the line of the game.
Timeout of the game, and we'll have no more challenges.
Guys, they're out of timeouts now. 3 minutes and 29 seconds left on the clock with no timeouts. They're going to have to get a stop and get a stop quick.
You're 100% right. I don't disagree with the challenge, but it does put them in a rough spot here. I'm surprised.
I was too, based on what I saw.
43 slice.
All right, they're going to be in their 4-minute offense, it looks like here. They're in the bunch set here to the right side.
They're going to keep this on the ground. That's Cook. And he's not going anywhere as that Memphis defensive line says, not on my watch. Let's check in with Jenny Dell.
The guy's express right tackle, Toby Weathersby, got injured on that last play. We saw on the field that the trainers were looking at his left leg. He's inside the injury tent right now. I will keep you posted on his status.
All right, thank you, Jenny.
Yeah, it's going to be run, and they're going to have to step up like they've done most of the night. Not here as much in the third quarter and fourth quarter, but they're going to have to make a stop here with this defensive line.
Tim Cook back in the ball game, 2nd and 11 for Arizona. This is Cook pushing past the 50, so we're going to be looking at 3rd and about 4.
They can bring this clock down almost down to the 2-minute. Not quite, if my calculation's right in terms of when they started the clock. But they're going to bring a lot down off this clock, bring it down to a 4th down if they choose to, and make the Express do something they haven't done all night. Throw the ball down the field for a score.
You can hear Wolford.
He's changing the play. No, he's going to take it to the 2-minute like Coach said.
Gonna let that time.
He called timeout with 2:00.
This is
You like Ravens, Noah?
He did take it down to the 2-minute.
That he did. Let's Let's check in on one of the coolest apps on the internet.
Our hardware and software creates an opportunity for fans to be able to play a digital game that we've created in real time for the first time, truly real time, unlike anything that exists.
We are building fantasy, but instead of a fantasy that is, based on the whole season or based on the weekend, it's fantasy that happens play by play. All of a sudden, you've gone from being the general manager of the team to being the coach of the team.
That app, #1 in both Google and Apple stores. You can download it right now. It's a pretty cool deal. Put it on your iPad. Put it on your iPhone. Put it on any phone you have. Sure.
Guys, this might be the biggest play of the game here right now. The Express are going to need to get a stop.
Hey, Reggie!
Ball's on the 49.
Reggie!
And there's Wolford letting everybody know on 3rd and 5 what the call is. Cook. Going to be short of the first.
Great job by the defensive front. They did a nice job stopping the edge.
And that's exactly what this Express defense needed, helping out their offense a little bit. Let's see what they do here on 4th.
Yeah, this is a little bit different now than what happens in the NFL in terms of the clock and the clock management with 2 minutes.
Will start again, though, right? 25 seconds. We didn't start the clock during the play. We just shot it.
Got an injured guy down there, obviously. So,
will the clock operator please reset to 1 minute 49 seconds?
So
because there was an injury by Arizona with a running clock, this will be their second charge timeout of the half.
So they ran 5 seconds off the clock. Arizona loses a timeout, which is no big deal at this point. Obviously now it's the classic 2-minute situation for the Express. Christian Hackenberg got to earn his money as a quarterback here. Something he hasn't done all night in terms of the efficiency or the ability to get the ball down the hill.
Yeah, and he's going to have to take that Express offense down the field with no timeouts and get a field goal. So that's going to be a critical series for him in terms of what he's going to be able to get done.
All right, let's take a look at the MGM Resorts play of the game. And they were down 12-0. The Hotshots trying to call it a comeback. That pass complete from Wolford to Cook. And that's the second touchdown pass of the game for Wolford, who really battled back after a rough start early with 2 interceptions on the first 3 drives of the game.
And it was a good job by the Express to keep him in the pocket, as we talked about. But in the second half, we saw he was able to do some of the things in terms of getting outside the protection scheme, outside the tackles. That touchdown play was just kind of a mini sprint. He didn't actually break contain, but he did move and bought himself some time to open up the alley to get the ball to the Texas route to the back.
So they are going to indeed punt. And this is...
Yes, I did.
Jeff Locke lands at about the 13-yard line, bounces ahead, out of bounds at the 14.
Guys, this is going to be a great finish. Minute and 40 seconds. Ball's on the 15-yard line, 85 yards for a touchdown. All they need is a field goal, though.
It's going to be a great finish for one of them.
Well, for us, it should be a good one.
There you go.
Well,
fans were in great shape.
They haven't had very much of in the second half. They scored a 4th quarter touchdown. They were shut out in the 3rd. They're going to have to string together a few plays.
And they're not going to be able to do it with just underneath throws. They may get that on the first down to try to get positive yards. I get that, whether it's a screen or a drop-off or a check down. But they're going to have to do something they haven't done so far in this game and be effective throwing the ball down the field.
And that pass tipped. So they're going to be looking at 2nd and 10.
Yeah, but they're going to have to use the sideline, too. They're going to have to get that ball to the sideline with no timeouts.
Thing inside is going to be is going to cost you from the clock. Probably have to get to about the 35 of Arizona to give you any realistic chance for a field goal.
Rick Neuheisel cheering on his defense. Hotshots trying to improve to 2-0. Hackenberg, Kid Howard, slips right through his hands.
Yeah, Hackenberg was able to escape the pressure, stepped up, and got to make those completions and catches. Those things are going to hurt you here in this last minute of the game. They got to make those plays.
Arizona's configured to take away the outside route so they can't stop the clock. There are huge gains to be made in the middle of the field, 20 yards down the field between the halves.
Let's see what they draw up here. For Hackenberg.
Yeah, they're dropping 8.
3rd and 10. Again, he's just content to dump it off to his running back. That's not going to be anywhere close to the first down. Terrence McGee might have picked up 4.
Yeah, they were in the drop 8 and were rushing 3, and there was nowhere to go with the football. He checked it down, and Arizona Hotshots did an outstanding job converging on it. They're just not going to let them throw it over their heads. He's checking here on 4th down.
Which is something he didn't do at all last week. 4th and 6 for Christian Hackenberg. This could be the game. Chased out of the pocket. Hackenberg decides to put his shoulder down, reaches out for the first down. Did he get there?
Yes, he did. Looks like the spot. 1st down and out of bounds. Stop the clock with 50 seconds. That's a great play by the quarterback, improvising with his feet.
There needs to be better clock management from Hackenberg in this Memphis Express offense than we saw in the first half.
Nice footwork there. Didn't get pushed out of bounds and was able to just get across the line to gain.
50 seconds to go. Ball's on the 26-yard line. Memphis' own 26. Hackenberg escapes one tackle, can't escape the next. That's Deshaun Downey coming in for the costly sack as the clock is still running here. Hackenberg trying to get him right back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd sack of the game for the Hotshots. And they need to regroup here for a minute on 2nd and 24.
Yeah, they got 2 downs to do it, and then they've got to get into field goal range. They got to use the sideline. Seconds are valuable here.
That they are. Just 30 of them left in the game.
It'll be interesting to see what the Hotshots are going to do on defense. I think they're going to probably drop 8 and
the 3-man rush with the drop 8 kind of freezes Hackenberg. He's not even going to try to throw the ball down the field and probably dump it underneath if indeed they give the 3-man rush with an 8-man drop.
Yeah, it looks like for sure they're only going to be rushing 3.
24 yards needed for the first down. Hackenberg. They're saying it's incomplete. And you can see the frustration on his face. He was trying to hit Dantes Bird.
Yeah, this is a tough part on your game plan. I'm not sure there's a 4th and 20.
Yeah, he should have made that tackle there.
Oh,
excuse me, he should have made that reception. That hit him right between the 1 and the 8.
That he did. 1 for 2 on 4th down. Well, the Express so far in this game, just 24 seconds to go. Need 24 yards. Hackenberg has a man hanging on, dumps it off. That pass is complete. Watch him that was hanging on. And he completes it to K1 Ross, but that's going to do it as he is well short of the first down. And Arizona going to hold on to improve to 2-0. Rick Neuheisel's troops, after a sloppy turnover-laden start, battle back against Mike Singletary's Memphis Express.
And impressive in the way that they came back under those circumstances. People were saying this may be the best team in the Alliance League, and the way they responded with all the things you just talked about going against them, and to be able to regroup emotionally, answer the plays that Memphis was able to put together. For the Memphis Express, they got a lot of questions going into this.
Down 12-0. The Arizona Hotshots improved to 2-0 on the season. Big win for Rick Neuheisel's troops on the road here in Memphis. This is the first home team that has lost in the Alliance this season, Smitty.
Yeah, home field advantage looks like it's going to be big in this league. These guys really played a hard-fought football game, both teams. There were some mistakes made, but I was really impressed the way they played. They played hard the entire game.
The final score here in Memphis at the Liberty Bowl, the Arizona Hotshots 20, Memphis 18 as the Hotshots improved to 2-0. For Brian Billick, Mike Smith, and Jenny Dell, this is Dan Helly saying so long from Memphis. You've been watching the Alliance of American football on the NFL Network. Week 2, we're right in the middle of it. 2 more games coming up on Sunday. Make sure you check it out. The future is here.